Hi guys, Rick Pete back here with another video for you. As you can see, it's going to be another sort of brief history, a little bit about style videos. This one is obviously the Intercontinental Championship, as you can tell by the belt over my shoulder, the one to my side, and the two DVDs up there. This video was done using Google, Wikipedia, and just generally doing research from various other sources. That this DVD being a particularly good source. I don't know if you can see that. History of the Intercontinental Championship. A lot of great matches on there, going way back. And I say, just general knowledge that I've sourced throughout various places on the internet. So yeah, without further ado, the Intercontinental Championship. Unfortunately, I only have two replicas to use for the video. I don't have an older one. Or the newer ones yet, but they're on the list, as it were. So yeah, I'll get on with the video. Hopefully it'll be quite interesting. I found it quite interesting as I researched it, especially how the title came about. So without further ado, I'll get on with it. So yeah, as we all know, Pat Patterson was the first Intercontinental Championship. He was given the belt after he won a tournament in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. What a lot of people may not know is that there wasn't actually a tournament. The tournament was completely fictitious. They just basically made up the title, the story of the tournament, made the title, gave it to Pat Patterson. It is considered to be the second most important championship in the company after the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. WWE World Heavyweight Championship, yeah. It was always referred to as the WWF Intercontinental title. When the company changed its name in 2002, obviously became the WWE Intercontinental. There's been 75 different Intercontinental champions as I record this. Obviously I don't record the videos, I'm pretty straight out. Some of them I record and wait, so I don't know what's going to happen. As I record this one, it's on the build up to SummerSlam, so you know, I don't know who's champion. But up to now there's been 75 different champions. Jericho holds the record for the most reigns with 9. Honky Tonk Man holds the longest single reign at 454 days, which is an outstanding record by any means. You know, to hold the title for over a year, like I've said in previous videos, is amazing. To hold it that long is just awesome. There's only 4 men in history up to now that have held the championship for a continuous reign of a year or more. They are Pedro Morales, Don Morocco, Randy Savage, and of course Honky Tonk Man. The title obviously is usually sort of contested at the mid-card level in WWE shows. It has been used in the main events. It was in the main event of WrestleMania 6, obviously. The Warrior coming in as Intercontinental or IC champion to face Hogan, who was the WWF champion at the time. It was in the main event of SummerSlam 92, and the 3rd and 8th In Your House events. I don't know the names of them off the top of my head. Probably should have done a little bit more research, but I apologise. And it was also in the main event of Backlash 2001. It's usually a sort of stepping stone to the world title. It was also often referred to as the workers' title, given to the hardest working guy in the company, and then they just seemed to throw it on any sort of mid-carder that creative had nothing for. It has had a resurrection of sorts over the last couple of years. You know, certain people have done a lot to make it seem important again. I'll get to that later on in the video. Now, the term Intercontinental in the title originally referred to North and South America, In '85, the belt design changed. I'll come to the belt designs later on. The centre plate now centered on the Atlantic Ocean, and then in 1989, the championship was first defended outside of North America by Rick Rude. He faced the Ultimate Warrior in Milan, Italy, and then in 1991 in March, Mr. Perfect made the first Asian defense of the title against the Texas Tornado WWF co-promotion event with Super World of Sports in Tokyo, Japan. First time it went to Africa was in 1997 when Rocky Maivia, or The Rock as it later became, pinned Savio Vega. That was in Durban, South Africa. And Shelton Benjamin made the first Australian defence of the belt in 2006 in Brisbane by pinning Gene Snitsky. I'll go a little bit into the designs of the belts. The first two versions of the title were what are known as trophy belts. Neither design was really nice, very, very nice. That's my opinion. I have heard other people say the same. The first design had a red strap, and the second had a green strap, and both versions had horrible, horrible main plates. The second one, the green strap one, is one that Tito Santana held. It only lasted a year, and that was replaced by a design that's a lot more familiar to wrestling fans. I believe it was Reggie Parks that made that one. A lot of independent federations also use that as a world title, that sort of shape, basically due to the familiarity of the style of the belt. On that one, the WWF logo at the top was painted red. It had smaller side plates as well compared to later versions. That was the version that featured at WrestleMania 3 when Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat competed for that title in a match that so many wrestling fans the world over, quite rightly so, say is the best wrestling match ever. It was an absolute clinic of a match, just awesome. Anybody who hasn't seen it, check it out. It's amazing. That was also the belt that Randy Savage used Brasso polish on and damaged the plates. It took the finish off, so rather than looking gold, they had more like a bronzy look to them. So yeah, that was the same belt that the Honky Tonk Man used at the start of his reign. Although during his reign he debuted a new belt, which is known as the traditional IC title, or the block logo one, amongst replica collectors. On that one, the WWF logo was gold coloured, the side plates were larger, and the strap had some tooling going around the plates, and it had a gold tip. The strap colour changed quite regularly with the belt and holder. For example, the Ultimate Warrior had a yellow strap, and then when Goldust won the belt, he had a gold strap. HBK won the title. He originally had it on a baby blue strap, similar to the one used on the Winged Eagle, and then for a while he moved on to a white strap, which is the same belt that Triple H also held. Well, he also held the IC title whilst he had a white strap, and so did The Rock. They went back to having a black strap on the belt due to white straps particularly being hard to maintain. That sweat off the wrestler's baby oil, general wear and tear, and the fact that the belts are abused just led to colour fading and changing. So they went back to a black strap, and then there was obviously this first came about when Austin supposedly threw the title into a river when he was feuding with The Rock. He didn't actually throw the IC title into a river. Apparently, from what I've heard, and I believe I heard it on Hazard F5's video I watched a while back, it was an old Block Logo tag title that he threw into the river. Don't quote me on that. Feel free to check out Hazard F5's videos to see if I'm right. But I'm pretty sure I remember watching that video a while ago, which is, I'll be honest, is where I got the idea to do my own version of it from. And I'm pretty sure he said on there that it was a Block Logo tag title. Then after WrestleMania 14, The Rock debuted a new belt. This was at the sort of start of the Attitude Era. And he had the Block Logo Attitude Era belt, which I believe debuted the same night on the Raw, the night after WrestleMania, that the WWF title, which became the Big Eagle as it's known, debuted. I may be wrong, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. That belt was on a purple strap. Again, given wear and tear, baby oil, sweat, etc., the strap didn't stay purple long. It went like a really dark colour, like almost a brown colour. That belt was used until No Mercy in 1999, when China won a Good Housekeeping match against Jeff Jarrett to become the last champion to hold that belt, as well as the only woman to hold the belt. And then the night after that, China debuted a new belt, which had a very similar design to it, but it had the scratch logo. Very similar to this, except the main plate was all gold, which they then changed to this with the black background and the black lettering. This strap was used from the night after No Mercy 99 to No Mercy 2002. During that time, it was unified with the WCW United States Championship at Survivor Series 2001, which led to the United States Championship becoming inactive for a while. The United States Champion at the time was Edge, one of my favourite wrestlers, who defeated the IC Champion, who was Test. In 2002, Raw General Manager Eric Bischoff began consolidating all his brands' championships. So he basically, rather than have a load of championships, he sort of merged titles to cut down, so they wouldn't have a lot of belts, that had to be defended. So he decided that the IC Championship would be unified with the European Championship. That happened in a ladder match between Jeff Hardy and RVD. RVD was the IC champion and Jeff Hardy was the European champion. RVD won, therefore the European Championship became defunct, which was a shame because I liked the European Championship, but there you go. So then No Mercy 2002, Triple H faced Kane. They had a champion versus champion match. Triple H was world champion, Kane obviously IC champion. The stipulation of that match was that if Triple H won, the IC title would be retired forever. Triple H won the match and the titles were unified. Then in May 2003, Eric Bischoff's now co-general manager of Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin, announced live on Raw, despite Bischoff's objections, that he was going to be reactivating the IC Championship and that any former champions on the roster were eligible to enter a Battle Royale Judgment Day that year for the title. Christian won and became the new champion. I remember watching this match recently, and it would have been Booker T that won it. Christian had been eliminated, but the referee was out Christian went back in, eliminated Booker T. The ref came round to see Booker T outside, Christian in the ring, and due to some underhand tactics, Christian won the title, which I was happy about because I'm more of a Christian fan than Booker T. Well, I'm a Christian fan, I'm not a fan of Booker T at all. So yeah, he became the new champion. This gave a secondary singles title for Raw, which obviously meant the wrestlers had another title to compete for. And it also gave the brand a total of 4 championships. This included the World, IC, Tag, I can't remember what the other one was at the time. It probably the women's title, I would imagine. I honestly can't remember. The new belt that Christian won had the WWE scratch logo and a nameplate with the holder's name on. That, of course, became this belt right here. So yeah, they had the scratch logo, the nameplate, and obviously the difference between this one is that one had Intercontinental running across and then Champion underneath. With the addition of the nameplate, they had to move the Intercontinental and the Champion lettering together, to put it all on. So it looked identical. It's virtually identical. So the only difference is the banner with the writing on and the addition of the nameplate. Other than that, the plates are pretty much identical to each other. On a side note, while Randy Orton held this belt, he elevated the title back to the prestige that it once had, whilst elevating himself to main event status. An interesting fact is that 1 month after losing the IC title, Orton actually won the world title. So the belt was replaced again. Appearance was almost identical, though I do believe there were subtle differences. I'm not sure what they were. All I know is that it was replaced and that it was, I believe, a Midwest design. Don't quote me, but I believe it was a Midwest design. During the WWE draft in 2009, the reigning champion was Rey Mysterio. He was drafted to SmackDown, which made the Intercontinental Championship exclusive to that brand. Then in 2010s, WWE got a lot of grief. They were criticised a lot for their scripting of the IC champions. Some guy who worked for ProWrestling.net wrote that the title has proven an albatross for the past decade, with almost all title holders doomed to tread water, usually only beating people decisively when the title is on the line. I did a little bit of reading up about that, and it became a common metaphor for the belt. It was often described as the albatross, which is a shame. Dave Meltzer, whose name I knew before I read this article, said in 2014 that the IC title isn't booked to mean much, which was kind of true to a degree. But there were various other people in 2014, 2015 that pretty much said the same, that the IC champion often loses non-title matches. The champions are losing too much, and by losing now they're supposed to bring prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. All valid points, and I do see where they were coming from, but I do think it has had a bit of a resurgence over the last couple of years. But at this time, obviously, the title's been defended again on Raw and SmackDown due to no longer being a brand split. While Cody Rhodes held the belt, he debuted a new belt at Hell in a Cell 2011. This was a massive moment. It was similar to the sort of classic IC, but it wasn't identical. A lot of people say it was identical, but after reading up on this, I realised it wasn't. there were some differences. The Cody Rhodes version had like nugget texturing on the plate. It had a gold WWE logo on the main plate with black painted WWE logos on the side plates. Were a different size with a taller main plate and smaller side plates again. There was no logo plate on the strap and no gold tip. The globe was different. I'm not sure how, but I know there was a difference with the globe. And the lettering was very similar to the WCW US, which is probably due to them both being JMar designs. It changed again in early 2012, and it's virtually now identical to the classic Reggie Parks IC, with only a couple of differences. It has white WWE logo at the top of the main plate. On the side plates, the grapplers, the wrestlers on the side plates, are identical to the classic IC. There's something else about the grapplers, but I'm not sure what it is. I do apologise for that, but I know there is some sort of difference between the grapplers, but like I said, I don't know what. That has the logo tip on the strap, and it also has a gold tip on the belt. That's the design that's currently being held by Ryback, as I record this video. Ryback's the champion. So yeah, that takes you pretty much from its beginnings up to the current day. Couple of longest title reign facts for you. Number one, Pedro Morales. He held it the longest. He had 2 reigns, which lasted 619 combined days. Don Morocco, he had 2 reigns, which lasted 541. The Honky Tonk Man, obviously, he had his legendary reign. He only had the 1 reign. He had it for 454 combined days, which, like I said earlier, is a hell of an achievement. That all came crashing down in a 30-second squash match to the Ultimate Warrior, which, looking back now, as much of a Warrior fan as I am, despite him not being a great worker, etc., I just loved the character as a kid. I remember watching that match to SummerSlam and just thinking, wow, he's beat him so quickly. As an adult, you sort of look at it and you think, the Honky Tonk Man carried the belt 445 days and then in 30 seconds lost it. Which, but he's still there as the longest IC champion. I honestly can't see anybody else beating that record of Honky Tonks. So yeah, anyway, the 4th longest person to hold it, number 4, is Tito Santana. He had 2 reigns with it, and they lasted 443 combined days. And then at number 5 is the bad guy, Razor Ramon. He held the title 4 times, and he held it for 437 combined days. Obviously, he and Shawn Michaels had that legendary ladder match at WrestleMania to solidify an IC champion. Shawn Michaels had been stripped of the belt due to not defending it. Razor Ramon had won it. Shawn came back saying, it's my belt, I never lost it, which led to the ladder match to decide who was the true Intercontinental Championship champion. Great match, one of my favourite matches to this day. Another guy who I was glad to see win the IC title, and this will upset my buddy Josh James, as always at the mention of his name, was Daniel Bryan. Then obviously he got the WrestleMania curse again, won the title, and then got injured, had to forfeit the title. So the current champion now, as I film this, is Ryback, a guy I've not been a massive fan of, but he deserved some sort of title reign for for what he's done. And he's been a good champion. He's been out with an injury, a staph infection, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do at SummerSlam against Miz and Big Show, who are both obviously former champions too. So yeah, that's my WWE WWF Intercontinental Championship video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Like I said, all the research was done through sitting, trolling through Google, making notes, watching the DVDs, books I've read, just stuff like that. But I would highly recommend that anybody check out who hasn't seen it, the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon WrestleMania ladder match for the IC Championship. It was a great match. The Rock and Triple H also had a great ladder match for the IC title. Jeff Hardy had some great matches when he was champion. Christian had some good matches when he was champion. There are a lot of good matches involving the IC title. Like I say, it is nice that it is starting to get a bit of a resurgence. I think Daniel Bryan did a lot to elevate it by making it look so desirable, and the whole angle with Barrett, Ambrose, R-Truth, Luke Harper leading into the ladder match at WrestleMania 31 was great. It sort of made it look like the championship, the title did actually mean a lot to those guys, and quite rightly so. Any title should be made to look prestigious. It shouldn't just be a case of I've won it, and that's it. But yeah, once again, that's my WWF WWE IC video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, all the research was done through trolling Google, Wikipedia, books, various other sources. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back again soon with another video for you. Until then, thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.